All right, guys, welcome to the French Workbench podcast. You guys didn't know it's been a while since we've actually done a podcast, and we're going to start doing these a little bit more now. As far as a set time, my life has gone a little bit crazy because I have just many different things that's going on, many business opportunities as well. So that's why we haven't really been doing the podcast. It's kind of hard to consistently do a podcast when you're juggling a lot of different opportunities that I'm trying to take advantage of. Now, we're going to try to get back into this sooner than later. We're going to start doing this hopefully on a weekly basis for everybody out there. This is our first one back. So without further ado, again, this is Dan French, the French Workbench podcast. And we're going to talk a lot about what's going on in Las Vegas, but also nationally and a lot of hot topics that's out there. Also, just what's going and streaming out there right now that may have interest to you. And we're going to give our opinions on it. Now, I have my co-host here with me, Chris. What's up, buddy? How are you?
My brother, man, it's been long overdue. You're right. No more excuses. We're gonna do our best to get at least one of these out a week.
Man,
It's unacceptable.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm looking at your background. That there's a lot of alcohol there, man. That's definitely a good background to have.
Yeah, I know. I need to get a check, man. I need to get a check cut from all these people. So
Absolutely.
right. So, fiance is I guess I don't want to say inspiring, but she does like to make her own cocktails at the house. She looks up recipes on the internet.
Yeah,
This bar right here, I bought her. Oh, let me go this way. This bar, I bought her so she could have all her liquor. Um,
it's pretty neat,
so
man. You guys have do you guys have parties and things a lot, or what as far as that goes? Do you have people over a lot?
I wouldn't say parties, but when she has a family member come over, one of her sisters, uh, they like to drink, cocktail, not like
Yeah,
hard liquor, not they're not over here getting smashed, but hey, I made this new drink. You want to try it? And they're like, yeah, okay. And so,
yeah,
the lemons, the limes, the egg water, like
all
craft
that stuff.
cocktails, like yeah, not just vodka and orange juice. She's really getting it in. So,
Well, I'm going
um,
to say this, man. We
yeah.
talk a lot about what's going on with real estate, lending, a lot of things that's happening in the market here in Vegas and also nationally. So we're going to talk a lot about that with the A's. A's coming here, right? They just decided that they're going to pass this. It looks like to me it's been passed. I believe they're going to come out here and you know, put their tent here in Las Vegas. I got some mixed reviews about it. I think there's a lot of people out there that may want the A's to come here, and there's a lot that don't. I think everybody wants another professional team, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to give you my opinion on that. We're also going to give you a quick update on what's happening in the real estate world. What have you been dealing with? We're going to go over a few things as far as graphs and stuff, just to kind of get an update and where do we think this market will be heading here in the summertime and at the end of 2023. So, Chris, A's came here. What's the story with the A's, buddy?
Yeah, they locked. Looks like they locked in the land, a binding agreement for the land. I think it's 49 acres, so it's pretty massive.
Yeah. Well, I
I
think
like it.
I do too, man. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it. Now there is some pushback, just like with the Raiders. They're always saying, well, who's paying for the Raiders stadium and how's it? And there's a lot of speculation out there, Chris, that says you may not get all your money back with that franchise. If my only thing is this, there's so many things to do in Las Vegas. Doesn't mean the A's won't be successful, at least to some degree. But when you look at Las Vegas and how many things it has to offer, and the A's coming here, is it really going to make a difference on really just overall volume of dollars that's coming through? Because a lot of people here in Las Vegas don't want to support another team unless the franchise is going to pay for it themselves. Las Vegas looks like they're coming in to help pay for this. What are your thoughts on that?
My thought is that brings a lot of jobs, for one. For two, with the Raiders, I want to say there was an article you and I had spoke about where the Allegiant Stadium is the number one grossing stadium.
Yeah, but but
So
but
in
you have
turn,
to think too. I mean, I get it, but here's the difference. The difference is football is such a bigger sport than baseball, and I'm not saying that baseball doesn't have its share, but we all know that baseball used to be the one of the primary sports. It still is, I guess, to a degree. But when you look at where it's at today, I mean, when's the last time you watched a baseball game, Chris?
when's the last time you watched a hockey game?
Right? See what I'm saying?
right? So, but the Knights are huge here.
They are. But I'm
So
going to say this. If
hockey is horrible. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, I mean, some people
It's a
like it,
hard.
man. Some people like it.
A
Look,
lot of
there's
people.
out.
I mean, a lot of people like it, but hockey came like, oh, who watches hockey? And the Golden Knights ticket, they sell out all the time, and their tickets aren't cheap, right?
Well, they're not
And
cheap, man, but I think it's like this. So obviously there's a reason for it. Maybe they have there's corporations that want this here because it's more marketing, it's more dollars they could put out. Apparently, when you get these TV deals with the A's, it does support and help the payer's salary. It also helps support some of the money that's needed for these stadiums. I just feel that moving here, a lot of people think that when you do move a team here like this and you have a city paying for it or a county, whatever you want to call it, the city of Las Vegas or just the Clark County in general, you're not going to get a return on your investment. If you do, it's years down the road because there's so much money that comes into it and you have to make a profit each year. Could you say it's a risk to move here being the A's, or you don't think it's a risk at all?
I don't think there's a risk. I mean, a risk to what? What are we talking about? I know
A
I'm like
risk to not
misguided on the
getting enough
question.
profit from it, and a risk that says that they're going to get the returns that they're looking for, because Vegas is different, man. You're not moving into a small town city and trying to put a team there and everybody's going to rally behind it. I understand you got the Vegas Golden Knights here, but you got to realize that was the first major sports team that really showed up here. Let me say this: since I've been watching and looking at the Golden Knights, there was a lot of frenzy when that came out. Now, when you look today, though, and you look around and you're driving around, I don't see the same buzz. I don't see the same, like, it's almost like this. The people that are looking to watch hockey, they're all in. The ones that were the average, fan out there that just watches occasionally on some of these sports, I don't see them, all in as far as watching every game, all the frenzy, everybody talking about the Golden Knights. I mean, they're in the playoffs. I don't really hear anything on the news about the Golden Knights. I mean, so you got to think that, yeah, it's the Raiders, you got the Golden Knights, but the Golden Knights, you got to be an outlier a little bit because it was the first major team that was brought here. We already have what, three now? This is going to be the fourth. How is this going to really make a difference now?
No, it's going to be the third major team.
Well, do we have a
We
we
got
have a
the
we have a women's professional basketball team here too?
yeah, that counts. It does. It's professional.
It's
Yeah, it
professional.
counts. Yeah. I don't understand the return on investment thing. I'm still lost on that. Like, who cares,
Well,
right?
because
It's
because I
for
think
people.
it's
It's
yeah. Go ahead.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, it's to go to a bar park with your kids, go watch the game. It's sports. It brings in jobs. They've got to hire lot parking attendants, ushers for the game. They've got to hire people to do the marketing for the stadium. Like, that brings in thousands of jobs, right?
No, it's going to bring in
Like,
jobs, man. But listen, we already have jobs now. I mean, how
yeah,
many?
but
How many?
you can never have too many jobs.
No, you can't.
Never.
But listen, here's my thing: is if we were in dire need of jobs, then I think we would obviously be more than welcome to have, open arms for this. The thing is, Vegas is always hiring, it seems like, on a casino, or they do these job fairs. There's a lot of jobs here in Vegas, man, because there's so many ways to hustle money. But when you look at the big picture, I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but I have some concern and some reserve on how much profit is this going to really make. Not saying that's bad to have a team here, but you're building. This is a corporation. I mean, look, you talked about it today. Sports is a business. You jump on these websites. You said on Twitter, everybody talks about sports, man. Right? Nobody that talks about anything else beyond that. Maybe politics a little bit, but I mean, beyond that, how big is sports? So maybe the A's will come here and it does work out. But for my perspective, who's paying for it, and is it going to give the profit margin that they're looking for on this?
I think so.
You think so? Well, we'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, I don't know. If you look at the numbers, you look at the things that's going on with the Raiders, um, we haven't really talked too much about it, but they're the number one grossing franchise, right? You said? Is that right? Stadium.
The
The
stadium
stadium,
made
yes.
a lot of money.
So,
Yeah.
so what makes you think that the A's will replicate that?
Uh, because it's Baseball is a still a big sport. Baseball is like that sport that for whatever reason families do like to go watch baseball in person.
Right.
It is that sport. Like
Well, I don't know, man.
football is big because people watch it on TV, but baseball people do watch that in person.
Yeah.
They do, and I think that I put it this way: they'll be better here than they are in Oakland. That's for damn
Well, I
sure.
think I think it's culture too. Like your environment's almost like a byproduct of not always, but how your team will perform or how something will perform. Like it's like your household. If you have a good household, typically you're going to do better. If you got a lot of stress and bills and people don't really want you there, or whatever the reason, you're not going to.
I mean,
You're not.
we're a major city. You got to have professional sports, all three. You got to have basketball, baseball, and basketball. I mean,
Right.
football.
Right.
If you're like Miami, Dallas, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, LA, like you have to have all three in professional sports. That's
Well,
it.
I guess we'll agree to disagree. I don't know if I'll say this. I don't think the A's are going to do as well as people think, especially maybe right off the bat. Maybe they get that return on investment down the road. I just don't think. I you know I don't know. I just don't unless there's some type of promotion. There's so many things to do in Las Vegas. Football is only what 8 months or 8 weekends out of the year. 8 weekends. Baseball is 162 games. I don't know. I
Hmm.
think that's the number. How much attendance do you think is going to have these people really going to be there on a consistency or on a consistent basis? I don't know. I mean, you got to think, yeah, it's a grossing franchise for the Raiders, but you're only there 8 weekends out of the year. That's it. That means you got to fill the seats 8 weekends out of the year. How are you going to fill it for 160 whatever games there is?
Well, because there's 42 million people visit Las Vegas a year,
Yeah,
so
but
there's
they
going to be a
come here
lot
to
of
see
tourists.
the
Like,
A's.
doesn't matter if they came here to see the A's or not. They're in the casino. Oh, damn! The A's are playing the Blue Jays. I
Yeah,
go to that game. That's my, you know what I mean? Oh, the A's are
maybe.
playing the Texans. No, not maybe,
I
for
just don't know
sure.
if if I'm coming to Vegas and I'm traveling here, I'm going to take time to go watch a baseball game and take away from other things because you can always watch. If you have a local team, you can watch that game anytime you want. I understand it's
No,
not.
but you can't. But you can't watch it in Las Vegas. That's just like going to Disneyland and saying, "Well, I'm not going to buy the Mickey Mouse hat for my kid because I could buy it online." That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. To me, I'm just going to have mixed reviews on it. So I want to talk to you a little bit, man. We're going to kind of go to a different subject here. So we both work for the same company now, Blueprint Real Estate Services. We're both a real estate agent out there in the trenches, in the grind. And you've also been up to other things too, right, Chris? What else have you been doing, man?
Yes. So with real estate on the, I don't want to call it a decline, but real estate has taken a turn for buyers just waiting it out, right?
I
It's
wouldn't
at
say a
seven and
turn
a
for the
quarter.
worst. I wouldn't say
No,
a
not a
turn.
turn for the worse.
No, I
But
wouldn't say.
buyers are being cautious, which they should be, right?
Right.
Unless you're a cash buyer or you're putting down a lot of money, or you just got a promotion and it's you and your wife and you guys are making combined, over 150, 200,000 a year, that you could work your budget into it and get something now. I don't know. Everyone has different needs, but anyway, to answer your question, long winded, with real estate, me forecasting and then seeing it, that it has slowed down, I decided to go back into the car business, which I was in before real estate.
Car business isn't is very is it very similar to real estate or is it completely different than real
No,
estate?
completely. There's no business like the car business that
Okay.
I know of.
What is the big deal with the car business? I mean, and do you think a lot of realtors are going to have a side job just to make ends meet at this point? Because it seems like a lot of
They
people out
probably a
there,
lot of them already do. A lot of them already do.
you have to, right? I
Yeah.
mean, is there a lot of people in the industry knowing that it's not that you don't have financial savings, but it's more about what about the consistency, right? How do you evaluate consistency over time? And I think that's the big thing is it's not about can I be survive the next 3 months or 6 months, which I think a lot of people can. It's if this thing doesn't turn in 3 months and I've just sat on my nest egg and spent my money, I got to at least keep afloat, right? And I think that's what everybody's doing. Your situation's different though. You do very well in sales. I think you're a very good salesperson. So your situation might be a little different where you're going into this knowing you're going to crush it there. And if real estate comes back, then you may dive back into it. maybe not completely as you were before, but right? Is that right?
You know, it's not really real estate that I love. I love people, right? And houses and cars are two things that people, when they buy them, there is a emotional connection, right? And I think that's probably why I'm in both those. Like, seeing how people react when they buy a car is just like buying a house. I mean, literally, I've seen it both. The emotion, the excitement, the joy. I've seen that replicated from buying both things. So it's really the people, right? And my return on my fulfillment is seeing how people react when they get the end result that they're looking for. Okay, so to answer your question, I had a great first year in real estate. Had I don't like to say I regret it, or we make the decisions that we make, then that's going to shape who we are going into the future. However, now that I'm back, if I had not left real estate, I would have a better position in the car industry. So now that I'm just getting back in, I'm perceived as rusty, so I gotta like kind of start over. Um,
Yeah, but I think it's like this, Chris. If you can go through what you went through, maybe that is your calling as doing cars. I don't know. Maybe it is.
yeah,
Maybe you wouldn't be all in like you are, or know the difference, knowing that because the car industry, I thought it was having some struggles too. I mean, it was,
yeah,
but
that's
everybody
that's a
always needs a
lie.
car, right? Would you say that people
Yeah.
need a car more important? It's more important to have a car than it is a house
It's
at points.
it's 100% more important to have a car than a house.
Explain that.
Okay. Um, you and your wife got one car, right?
Yeah,
You go through a divorce, she kicks you out of the house. And are you going to go find somewhere to live, or are you going to go find a car?
you're gonna probably go find a car first because you got to get to a place, right?
100%. You goddamn right. You need a car.
Yeah,
Because if you don't have a car, how the hell are you going to get to work?
yeah. I mean, people could
Right?
say the bus, but I mean, look, think about it though. When you have a car, it
be,
opens up more doors, right? So,
yeah, be realistic. A bus, you'll
yeah,
never get hired anywhere.
yeah.
Right? Are you just that's insane. You can't take the bus. You could, but no one that it is not a viable solution. You got to get a car. Whether you rent one until you get your shit together, you're gonna have to take Ubers. That's even a car, right? Maybe you go drive Uber because Uber gives you a car if you go drive with them. But you got to do something to get.
Yeah.
You got to get transportation, especially in this city. Now, New York or something, you're all right because you got the train, you got the subway. San Francisco, you got the train, the trolley, right? Those are, metropolis cities where that can work. But Las Vegas, you need a car.
You need a car.
I don't, yeah, you could, because you could live in your car. But if you get a house and you get a job, and that's the first, I mean, are you able to make it to work every day? Now you got to track down somebody, your homeboy, your homegirl, your cousin, your brother. Does someone take you to work every day?
Right.
Right? And then if they don't take you to work and you got to take Uber, that's just going to eat your checkup.
100%.
Yeah, you got to get a car because you could always bum a spot on a couch at a friend's house, but you got
Well,
to have a car.
and the other thing too is, man, is let's talk a little bit about where we're at with real estate. Real estate is still something I really dive into. I'm going to be doing some more tours here. LV Home Professionals, check that out. Like I said, we're now with Blueprint Real Estate Services, so don't kid yourself. Chris is still doing real estate on the side here. If things come back, then it'd be a good problem to have to pick either between doing cars or doing homes, right? And so we're gonna continue to put this out. So if you guys don't know, please subscribe to this channel, like the channel, right? Check out LV Home Professionals. It's a great place to get started. Dan French Connection, that has all of my contact information and also all of my platforms through social media. So I want you guys to check that out. So we're going to go out our last topic here, and then we're going to end the show here. Chris, you got anything else to say about just your situation?
No, cars is it's an industry that I felt confident to go back into. It's good money. Anyone that's looking, all of our contact information will be in the description below. But if you're in the market for a Honda specifically, because that's the dealership I'm in,
Yep.
Don't hesitate to either get some questions answered or come by and see me. In terms of us doing real estate on the side, 100%. I mean, I'm in contract right now. I'm representing a seller, and then I'm representing her on the buyer side. So real estate is just it's a process, right?
Do you think it's hard to have somebody that trusts somebody that is doing another job? Like, I don't know what it is, but you can do real estate and do another job. It's very common to do that. I don't understand why people think that you can't do both or that they want somebody that's a full time. Sometimes these full time people don't work. They just don't put the time in. They don't make the calls. They're not doing the research. They're not doing all. So it really depends on the character of the person and the agent you hire. I wouldn't say. I mean, okay, you're in the trenches 24/7. They're thinking, oh well, you're not going to do real estate on every day, so you're probably not going to be as knowledgeable. I don't think. I think that's a misconception. What do you think, Chris?
That's stupid.
It's stupid, right?
That's stupid. That's just like finding out your waiter drives Uber at night when he's not waiting tables. Are you gonna think he's not a better waiter? That's retarded.
Yeah,
People are just they just say
weird.
the
Yeah.
dumbest shit. Yeah, that's stupid as hell. Who cares, right? Or like knowing your doctor's trade stocks or something, right, to get extra money, or he's doing real estate. Like, what does that matter?
So
You
if
know what I
somebody
mean?
wants to see you, I want to pitch you, man. Because if somebody wants to come down and see you, because we're going to talk about real estate here, where are you
Yeah.
at, man? And where can they come and see you? And maybe look if somebody's out there looking for a car, their family. Where's this Honda dealership?
It's 933 Auto Show Drive. They're in Henderson. You can't miss it. It's Finley Honda Henderson. Can't miss it. They're an aggressive dealership, meaning like not aggressive like force you to buy a car. They're aggressive in terms of if you come in and you're realistic with an offer, they're do their best to make it work for you
Right,
to leave with a vehicle. It's
right.
within reason, right? I mean, you're looking at a brand new Accord. You know, a brand new Accord's about 40. If you come in and offer 30, you're not there to make a deal. You're just I don't know what you're doing. Um, Something like that. But you're looking for, oh, I'm not trying to pay market adjustment. I'm not trying to pay this, or what can you give me more for my trade, right? If it's within reason, this place does do deals. I will say that. Yeah.
All right,
So
let's
good
talk
job on
about
that.
this, man. So check him out over there at the Honda dealership. You guys looking for a car, your family. I want you guys to get out there and see him. Chris is a great person, great mentor for a lot of people. He's done a lot. He's a great, as far as people goes, he's got great people skills, as you guys can see. So we're going to transition into the real estate market here in Las Vegas. And again, we're real estate agents as well. So we're going to give our opinion on
Yes.
this. So
Let's
what
do
I
it.
want to bring up here is I want to bring up and see if we can, let me put this over here
Oh,
real quick.
nice.
Hold on one second. There we go. All right. So
All right.
this right here is where we see the real estate market today. This is a single family residence home that we're looking at. We can go to all types and we're going to give our opinion. If you go to all types, we're still increasing, right? And this is over just being a year. Let me see if I can put this in here real quick. So this is over a year, right? And so I don't know if you can see this, Chris. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're looking at this, and let's go back to just single family residence here. So $430,000 is now it's creeping back up. And why am I bringing this up? Because back in June of 2022, we hit our peak, right? We stopped there. It was actually May, all right? 481. Ever since then, we've been on a decline. Everybody's like, "Well, Dan, where's this going to head? Could you see this hitting 415,000?" I told people that that's probably where it would go. Now I was off a little bit. Why do I feel like it's off? Because I feel that you got to understand our demographics of people that are coming to move here from other states. They come here, they stay, they want to be in Las Vegas. They're selling their house for a lot more money, coming here, and they're willing to spend and put the money down necessary to buy these houses. And that's really what drives our market. So since December of last year, rates have also been hovering right around, 5.5. It went up to 6. Now it's about 6.5. I would say it's been hovering between 6 and 7%. So the shock value for people is gone. The Fed has to raise the Fed's fund rate, which they've been doing consistently to tame inflation. Even though they've been doing that, typically what that does is it puts less confidence in the market. You got short-term bonds that's going to be higher premiums now for people, student loans, car loans, credit cards. So why is this kind of leveled off? Well, I think there's numerous factors, and I'm gonna have you come in on this, Chris. This is my opinion. I feel consumer confidence is not high, but it's they've adjusted, right? The mindset of people to buy a house have adjusted. I think a lot of people that are buying houses today are first time home buyers or just people that need a primary residence. You're not looking at secondary homes, maybe investment properties, but a lot of it is the demographics outside. We know 40% of people coming from California are here in Las Vegas or are coming to Las Vegas. That's our transition of 40% coming from California. So at 425, what this tells me is that this right here, people have started to say, well, it is what it is, right? That we understand that this market is, not going to get any better. It might get worse before it gets better. So we're just going to go ahead and make our transition now. And as you can see, as this has gone on, we're now seeing that this is the first month from March to April. We've increased on our average. This is our median sales price average of $430,000, right? This is the median price of a home. So, Chris, what does that say to you?
That simply just says to me that people aren't the people that are in their current homes. They have wonderful interest rates. Okay, so if you come in and you try to lowball somebody, in their mind they're like, "I'll just keep it. I have a $1,200 payment." This guy or girl is out of their mind if they think they're going to come in and offer me 100,000 under my listing price, right? I'll work with you, but yeah, I'm not giving you my house, right? I'm actually fine where I'm at. So I'll give you an example. We listed for 285, got under contract for 275. And there was people offering 250, 230. My seller at no point became desperate, became like in any sense of like I felt like she was gonna crack or fall. She was just like the right deal will come. And it came, right? Flip side, because I represented her on the buyer side. House was listed at 295. They lowered it to 275 because, it had been on the market over 150 days now. So that seller actually started lowering it because, to try to gain some momentum. And it worked because it caught our interest. We ended up offering 260 under the 275 listing price. They came back 270. I think we're at 268 or something like that. So just thinking that people are going to that's why that's why it hasn't gone down, because people that are in their current loan, they're in a sweet spot, right? They're in their
100%.
sweet spot. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like my seller is only selling because she needs to get to the first floor. She's elderly. If it wasn't for that, she wouldn't be selling her place,
No, and I think, like you
right?
said, and you're looking at this, our entire MLS is down, not entire, but it says 2555, right? This is new listings. It's down 34%, right? So, to me, let's look at the month supply real quick. So the month supply has gone down ever since November of last year. It got up to 4 months. This is for single family residents. Overall, it's still gone down, right? Um, so people always said, what do you think's happening in this market, right? Do you think that, our market's going to keep declining and everybody's saying, no, get ready for the crash, or just get ready for the correction, and we're going to keep
No,
going and not list your house or don't buy anything for now. Yet
no.
this is the first month and we leveled off, and I've been telling everybody there's going to be a point where we're just going to kind of level off. Now, what I think would really retract this market is if rates somehow went to like 7.5% or maybe 8%. If rates went up that high, we'd probably see a retraction again. Knowing that rates have kind of hovered around that same mark and people have had time to kind of digest this and adjust to it, I think that's contributed to a lot of people saying, well, it is what it is. This is the new rate. And we're just going to come out from California or wherever we're coming, East Coast, whatever it is. And we'll put a large amount down and we'll just take on the higher rate. But under no circumstances, Chris, I see anybody wanting to leave their current home and take a higher rate unless absolutely necessary, just like you said, you personally.
Yeah, I mean that'd be stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's so stupid. Why would you do that? The only one that's really going to get stomped are the new home builds. You
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
actual private sellers like me selling my home or you selling your house, like I'll just chill. No big deal to me, right? Um, yeah, the new homes, yeah, they're going to have to do some negotiating because they got to get rid of inventory. That's a different thing. So, they got to partner up with the banks and get some better interest rates, maybe in the fives. I think they're offering fives now, if I'm not mistaken. That's a good deal.
I mean, and
Um,
the builders aren't adjusting really much. I mean, yeah, they've come down. I'm not saying that they haven't, but the incentives and things, they haven't overbuilt. And a lot of people think, well, Dan, you talk a lot about, what's going to happen with the market and it's going to keep going. And a lot of people think that. I just don't think. I think we've kind of hit our bottoming unless something uncontrollable or unforeseeable happens. I don't think that from what we see now is that all of a sudden we're going to dive back down to 400,000 or dip below 400,000 for the average listed price of a home, unless something happens that we just don't know about, right? Or something unforeseen. It would take something pretty
yeah.
catastrophic. I think rates would have to go pretty high, but the
Even if
confidence is
you,
there.
even if you,
You know?
even if you did, the house is still worth. That's the value still there anyway. Even if it went under 400,000, and let's say it went to 385, right? That's
Yeah.
the true value anyway, right? It would have to go down to like 200,000 for it to be catastrophic. But I don't care where you are with, unless the market just, I mean, a lot of if that happens, then we got other shit to worry about.
Oh
But
yeah.
you will not be able to buy a single family home in Summerlin, 3 bed, 2 bath for under 300. I don't care what happens. You just
Well,
won't.
yeah. I mean, here we'll
You,
look at like the condo sector. I just want to look at that really quick. The condo sector here. Um, let's see if we can bring this up here. So the condo section here, you can see 284 down from 339 in March. I mean, we were at 223. So the condos really took a huge increase, right? You can see
yeah,
here.
because that's what people can afford.
Well, that's what they could afford at that time, 100%. So
Yeah, that's what they can afford. Yeah.
as prices have come down now, you can see that it's at 284, but you can see the decline. Let's look at the average sales price. That's the median price. Here's the average sales price. It's 236,000, right? The median price here is 230. So
Hmm.
what that tells me is it's still going up. You can see that the average median price is still going up, but it's less desirable. Why? Because that gap between a single family residence home and condos based on the interest rate and the prices coming down.
It's significant. It's significant.
Yes, and that's the difference with why we see what's happening now. I think a lot of people are now electing to go back into that single family residence, obviously versus a condo. And I don't know, you sold a townhome recently, right? Or you listed a townhome? Is that right? Was it a townhome?
No, it was a condo with a
Oh, it's a
two
condo.
car garage. Yeah,
Okay,
condo.
so
Yeah.
that's what you said. So at a townhome, let's look at a townhome really quick. So at a townhome, you can see 320,000 is the average median price. The average here still going up for the sales price, right? The median sales price for a townhome is 320,000. So it's still a little bit better, obviously, because 430. That's like $100,000 difference, but again, people are starting to see, like, if there's a huge separation, which there was when prices were at an all-time high, I think the only option for people to buy anything was go condo, because when you combine that with those rates at that time, it was just way out of whack. Now I think that prices have come down and we're starting to see more of a balancing. It's still not where it needs to be, but I don't know. Any other thoughts you have on this real estate market here that we see?
Try to, if you, whether you have a realtor or not, reach out to myself or Dan or the current realtor you have. If you are in
Yep.
the market, beat up that brand new build.
Yeah.
Get your realtor to fight for you. They're buying down rates. They're offering money
2-1
towards,
buy down. Yeah.
yeah, closing costs. They're offering money towards upgrades. I mean, beat that builder up because they
Yeah.
are
Well, and
giving
that's
it up.
that was a good point you brought up, Chris, because 2-1 buy down. I think that's another reason why people are buying, and you see the market starting to stabilize and go back up, is because if you look at the rates, if you're at 6.5 and you could buy it down a point and it's at 5.5, I think that's manageable at a $500,000 It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. But it's
I
management,
mean, you know what? Not
I
only that, I
guess,
saw
right?
some build. I don't know if it was Lennar, but I think it was Toll Brother. It was not. They were not talking about buy down. They were talking
Right.
about locked in
Right.
buy down,
Right.
like 30-year lock in, like not 2, 3 that and then it goes up in 3 years. No, they were talking about straight buy down and it's locked in. If you can get
That's it.
something like that, oh my God, do it. 100% do it.
Well, I think that's it, man. Let's end the show here. We're going to keep putting this out. If you guys have any questions, we'll have our contact information in the comments section, and hit us up, man. Go check out Chris. He's doing cars on this, as far as both at Honda
Yep.
dealership. So check him out. I'll have his contact information. If you guys have any friends or family out there, definitely give him a call and start pushing business to him. He's a good guy. He's going to help you with the best deal out there. Any last words, Chris?
My brother, it's been a pleasure, man. This
Yeah.
is a long overdue thing. We both got to hold each other accountable, and instead of talking about it, we just got to find. It doesn't matter if it's the time that we talked
No, we just got to
about.
keep going.
Yeah, when the time permits itself, we just got to do it. That's it.
And we'll have more
Yeah.
people on. It's not going to just be myself and Chris. Chris and I just started doing this back up. It's very hard to go down to the studio and get all that going, especially everybody meeting. So we're going to start doing a lot of this online. We'll have Esmeralda back, I'm sure, and we'll have some other guests that's going to come on. And we're going to have some good, relatable topics for you guys out there. Give your guys' opinion. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. We'd love to answer them. Please subscribe, like the channel, hit the notification bell if you're out there, if you guys want to get our information. And we'll see you guys at the next one. We're out of here.
All right, brother.